Very rarely does a new golf club take my breath away and leave me lost for words. But when I was out in Orlando, I got to test a brand new driving iron, which to be honest is changing the whole ideology of what a driving iron should be, can be, and potentially will be. Hi everyone, my name is James Robinson and welcome back to this YouTube channel. Guys, if you're new here, do me a favour, please make sure you consider hitting that subscribe button below. We're so close to 300,000 subscribers and that blows my mind every time I say it, but I'd love you to be a part of it if you're not already subscribed. So today we're talking about this bad boy, and it is of course an 11 Golf tortoise. Do you get it? I thought it was a turtle, but it's a tortoise. Now, before I talk about the tech in this club, I'm going to hit you a couple of shots and just show you why I think potentially this could be a little bit of a game changer when it comes to a driving iron, because driving irons are kind of a penny a dozen, aren't they? Is that a phrase? I don't think that's a phrase, is it?
Nearly a phrase.
12 a dozen? Anyway,
Dime a dozen.
Dime a dozen, that's the one. But essentially what I've found with this, as in, I hit it a lot on a driving range at Top Golf. I also hit it a lot when we're out in Florida when I had that kind of 220, 230 number, and I hit it exceptionally well. Now the reason for this is not only has it got that kind of hollow bodied design with a lovely mirrored effect on the back look, but it has like little to no offset. And you don't get a big forgiving iron with little to no offset. You just don't. And we've got this lovely kind of pearlescent hosel here, ferrule, GL. But I've just not hit a bad shot with this yet, and maybe in today's video I will, but looking down at it, it fills me with confidence in that I can just play loads of shots just like that with it. Big high fade down the middle of this fairway, but also if you look on screen now at some of the shots we've been able to hit, we've hit low ones, we've hit high ones, we've hit draws, we've hit fades. So for the price that potentially this thing's going to be, because we all know that 11 like to keep things nice and affordable for people, could this be one of the standout clubs of 2025? Let's find out as we go into this video. And what I think these companies are doing exceptionally well is providing fantastic equipment at that kind of cut budget price. So I think of the guys at 11, I think of the guys at Tacoma, I think of the guys at Cali. In fact, you look at the Tacoma kind of driving iron, the 101U, very similar ideology as you can see, very similar big nice wide sole, so it's going to give you that forgiveness and of course kind of drag that CG down. But this does have a little bit more offset, so I think it's designed more for the person who maybe is going to miss this ball to the right. This is where 11, when we got to the driving range in Orlando, we got to the Top Golf and the guys at 11 were like, James, look at this and tell me what you think. And I was like, oh, it's a driving iron, it's lovely. Like, as though like, we're not reinventing the wheel here guys, are we? And they said, James, look closer. And I went, wow! And it is like, we'll throw on screen now some still images of it so you can really see just how little offset there is on this club, because I do think like it makes a huge difference as to how it looks down at address, down at the ball. And if your bad shot is left like mine is, then essentially it's going to be a joy to you because you're not fighting the offset and playing a big raking horrible hook. So let's hit a couple more down this hole and see just how, again, this club can perform. I feel like I know how it can perform. I'm just kind of show you guys how it can because of the time I spent in Florida with it. So I found that I can still play that draw as well if I want to. So just like a nice normal shot here with this. You can see nice and straight down the fairway, touch of fade on there. But that's going to be pitching that kind of 200, 220 yards for me. So that's what I want from a club like this. And the big thing I want from it is consistency. Now, I've already done the numbers for this, and I am well aware how shocked you guys are going to be. So you're really not going to want to miss just how far this goes, just what the spin rate is, and how consistent it is, both front to back and side to side, because I don't think this is just a club for off the tee. I don't think it's just a driving iron. I think it's a club that could potentially cover lots of bases. You can play it high, you can play it low. It's almost like a hybrid, but if you're not a hybrid guy, like I'm not until I tried the Ping hybrid's pretty incredible. But also if you've probably tried the 11 hybrids, the full bag, this is a different club altogether to those, because how good's that? Like, I don't know what more a club brand could do when it comes to the money that this is going to cost. I don't know exactly how much it's going to be, but I know it's going to be a lot more affordable than the likes of a TaylorMade, a Callaway, a PXG, all the rest of the kind of massive brands. And I also know, because I've got it here in front of me and my eyes are working pretty well today, oh, falling over my bag there, is that it looks fantastic. And it looks like it's going to do the job that you want it to do. And I think this kind of new stamping from 11, where they're trying to make a little bit more, not premium or high end, but they're trying to make more clubs for the player. Because we all know that 11 make that kind of full set of hybrids, and that's what they're renowned for. And I'm sure that's what they sell a lot of. But if you want to kind of buy into a brand, but you don't want the kind of hybrids, you don't want that massive forgiving set, then this is where they're going to tailor towards you a little bit more. Let's hit one off the turf here rather than off a tee, and I'll show you just how potentially versatile this thing can really be. Oh, stop it. Just stop it. That was a Tiger Woods club twirl, wasn't it? Did you get the rhyme in there, by the way? Instead of off the tee, let's see how versatile this can be. Oh, I feel like I could be a rapper. Let's go inside and have a look at the numbers. Okay, so when it comes to numbers for this 11 Tortoise 3-iron, still can't believe that's the name. It sounds absolutely fantastic. One of the big things that I got from this when testing it in Orlando, the reason why I had to sneak it back in my golf bag to bring you guys to get the numbers on, was just how good this thing was to launch, just how forgiving yet playable it was because of that lack of offset. And straight away you can see that one's launched nice and high into orbit. It's quite high spin, that at 4,500. It's carried over 200 yards, releasing up to kind of 215. And that, for a club, which you can see is a big hollow bodied design, it's designed to be forgiving, it's designed to give you a little bit of ease of launch, is what you want from a 3 driving iron. It's almost a hybrid, this. And then that's a shot where you can play it that tiny bit lower, 3,500 spin. It's going to carry a little bit more, 206 yards, releasing up to 220. We're bang in the middle of this fairway, which from this distance isn't always my saving grace, isn't always the shot that I'm going to play. And I'm just going to try and vary a couple of ball flights here, because that's a toey one, and I felt that was a toey one. We'll have a look at the screen after this. All that's happened is the spin rate's dropped slightly. It's still carried 207, and it's the longest one so far. So the ball speed there has remained constant, and you can really see there just how that club face is geared open with the toey strike. As soon as I got my hands on this, there was something that just got me. And I've nearly missed that one. That's honest. I mean, that doesn't deserve to go 200 yards, but it's going to do. Bang centre. I pretty much topped that 206 yards. And I guess the big thing for me with this is, because it doesn't have that massive offset, they've done away with the ideology that if you want forgiveness, then you obviously hit it to the right with a big kind of weak fade. A lot of people want forgiveness, but the bad shot is like mine, it goes a little bit left. And I'll probably prove myself wrong at some point in this video. But I honestly don't think I have to worry about that too much with this club. As you've seen with some of the shots on camera that I have hit with this, 210 carry, 222 total, I'm starting to become more familiar with it. I'm starting to commit to the shots more, and in that, I'm not worried about hitting the ball left. Quite often, when I do miss the ball left, it's because I don't commit to it, the hands come early, the body stops rotating, and you get that snap hook. Whereas without the offset, you don't really get that. Can we play that really low one? Oh, stop! Stop! I've tried to do a club twirl and I can't because my body's all over the place. I've got that spinning at 2,000, pitching over 210 yards and releasing up to 235. That's almost like a 3-wood number total for me. The carry distance is amazing, and you look at the difference in height there, that's quite frankly ridiculous. Wow. Can we get that on tap, please? Yeah, we can. That one's spinning a bit more, so it's rose up a touch. But again, if I'm trying to find a fairway at 200, 210, 220 yards and you're under a bit of pressure, I don't feel like this club's going to miss. In fact, factually, I don't think we've missed a fairway with it yet. And this fairway is quite a narrow one, and certainly not something to be fooled around with. Like, I'm trying to absolutely pummel that one now. Obviously, this is the first time we've missed a fairway, but it's carried 210. It's up there again towards that 230 yards mark. And to be honest, looking at those total dispersions, I don't know how for the price this isn't going to find its way in loads of people's bags in 2025. I've hit that so hard. My insides hurt, I've hit that so hard. But actually, it's carried the same. So the forgiveness levels are quite staggering because you don't need to try and hit it harder. I can literally stand there, put less club head speed into it, probably going to spin less, and go the same. Even with a horrible size like that one. Wow. And one of the huge factors that I find interesting about this kind of D2C model, which is almost taking the golf world by storm now. We all know the likes of Tacoma and the Bryan brothers and Grant Horvat and all these kind of big names are doing fantastic things for golf, I think. Fantastic things to get people not only into the game, but make it sustainable to carry on playing the game. And that's where here in the UK, the guys at 11, I think, are doing a very similar job to that. So they're not necessarily working with the world's biggest influencers, but they are getting people to get these clubs out there to show you guys, the public, the demographic that they're after, that golf doesn't have to be expensive, doesn't necessarily have to be that difficult, especially with that kind of full hybrid set, and essentially doesn't have to be all those stipulations that people think golf is, doesn't have to be stuffy, doesn't have to be for old people, doesn't have to be... I think golf's changing, and I think these companies have got a lot to do with it, and I, for one, am all for it. My arm's killing now. Bobby's gone somewhere. This thing's a lot heavier than what you would think. Oh, I don't know what I've done there. I think I broke it. Don't tell him. So you saw the front to back dispersion inside with the numbers, and there was like 1 or 2 yards in it for all the shots we hit. Now you look at these 3 shots we've hit here, even on a wintry day that looks rather difficult to pitch it any distance whatsoever, we can see that I'm going to say that there's not a yard in that, is there? No. That is remarkable. Remarkable. I don't want to move because I'll fall over. It's very slippery underfoot. And as mentioned, I don't think this is just a club for off the tee. I think this is a club for lots of different situations, lots of different shot types, and of course, a club that maybe from 200 yards into the wind, we can try and attack this very flag. So that's what we're going to do with this tortoise. I love the name. I like anything kind of animal driven, to be honest, animal derived. So ideally here, at that monkey tree with a little bit of draw, it's a strong wind, so it's going to be tough to go up there, but we'll see just what ball flight we can get with it. It's at the monkey tree, it's just stayed bang straight, hasn't it? And that's up there front edge. It's not too bad a shot, really. I'm not sure if that's gone kind of too low and it's never really risen in the air to get the kind of distance, but being able to hit a shot that low with a club that has this much going on in the trunk, for example, I think shows where the CG is placed on this, and obviously not having the offset really allows for those different kind of shots. I'd almost say this is like, I'd have it in the bag as not really, that's a little bit right, but not too bad. I'd have it in the bag as not really a driving iron. I'd have it in the bag as a bit of kind of like a rescue iron, I suppose would be the term for it here. An iron where, a utility iron, which is exactly what it is, Bob, to be fair, so thanks a lot for that. But what would you do, guys? Could you see yourself with one of these clubs in, a little bit less offset, a little bit more forgiveness for the golf who doesn't necessarily miss the ball to the right, although it would have saved us maybe on that last one. Come on, flag hunting, straight at it here. And let's see just how good this is. That's like set off and then gone again, isn't it? I'm really pleased with that. I think to be able to get on this hole with essentially 3 irons, shows just how good potentially this thing could really be. Guys, if you enjoyed that, please do smash that subscribe button below. Lots more golf related videos to come, so if you are new here, I'd love you to be a part of it, and apart from that, I'll see you all at the same time tomorrow. We're going to unclean this. Bye.